How's everybody doing?
Good morning. I feel like there's so much gruff.
Okay, my favorite thing right now is Negan in glasses over here acting like he's too cool to be here. Yet he has sat and waited. You know you love this.
Looks good.
It does look good.
Yeah, this is my
So turned on right now.
pre-coffee voice. It's like so deep right now. Remember who you are. So what I'm gonna do is, guys, go ahead and start lining up. I'm gonna make this panel today about you guys. I want, these are two fan favorites.
You said it would be about us.
Listen, I told you that backstage, but
This is not the way to keep him on stage. Come on.
Okay.
so go ahead and line up. But first, I want to talk to you guys. You have some amazing projects coming up. You have an amazing project out, so Teen Titans Go movie, which was amazing. And then Shazam is coming out as well. It's wild. So I want to talk about a little bit about that before we talk about The Walking Dead. That's my question. So tell me a little bit about Shazam, Teen Titans Go.
I want to hear about Shazam. Come on, tell me.
As much as you can say.
As much as I can say about Shazam. Well, I can say it was super cold when we were shooting. We did it in right after we wrapped season 8. I went and did Pollyanna's movie, which is called Darling. I'm gonna have to throw that out there because it's gonna be this really cool, it's kind of like this weird kind of horror movie, but it's not a horror movie, and it's I don't know how to describe this film, and so I'm not gonna do any more press for that. But it's this awesome thing that we did, and then
I've seen it, and Cooper is amazing. And so is Pollyanna.
Yeah, Pollyanna's so good.
McIntosh, who is the titular role of the woman.
Yes.
And directed it, and wrote it. She's incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
she's freaking 7 feet tall and gorgeous. It's like everybody, we're all just sitting here ridiculously jealous.
Yeah, like she's the man, straight up. She
is the woman.
Yeah, the woman. She is so awesome. Yeah, she is so awesome. But yeah, so while I was in Baton Rouge doing that, I had to do this audition for Shazam, and I was like, oh, it'd be nice to do this. It's a different role for me, which is I'm playing this the foster parent. So Shazam is about this 14-year-old kid who, when he says the word Shazam, he gets struck by lightning and becomes this awesome superhero, Superman-esque type dude. And I play the foster parent to all these kids of this home that he's come to, and I think that's the extent of what I'm allowed to say about that. But it's what I love about overly dark. It's just exactly what this.
Did you ever secretly put on the suit?
So Zach and I, and a few of the other cast, we for our wrap gift to the cast and crew, we bought those onesies. And so it has the Shazam cape and the hood and like the red and the lightning bolt, and I am trying to fit into it. Almost there. 2X was as big as it went, and I was like, oh, yeah, there we go.
We need a Cooper-sized Shazam, man. I'm telling you, that's what I want to see.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
It's amazing. And Teen Titans Go to the movies. I mean, that is actually, it's getting, a lot of people wanted to win the Oscar for Best Animated Film, which is fantastic.
I'm so proud of it. You have no idea. We honestly were just trying to make a really funny movie, and the way that Teen Titans Go, the show that we do, we make fun of ourselves a lot. We make fun of ourselves a lot, and we make fun of the experience of making this show. And also, if you don't know Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go, I play the voice of Cyborg, and I've been doing it for 15 years. And so there's a first kind of classic version of Titans, and then we made a much sillier kind of Looney Tunes version of Titans. And the fans of the old show weren't crazy about the new show. They actually got really mad that it wasn't exactly like the old show. which we just absolutely love. So we make a lot of fun of the people who are so mad about a cartoon, which only makes them angrier. And we're literally we just have such a good time with it. And so the best thing that ever happened to Teen Titans Go was Batman versus Superman, and because it was like, oh, here's something else we can make fun of. And so we spent a lot of Teen Titans Go to the movies making fun of the missteps of the DC universe, and I think that critics kind of realized that we were making, you know, kind of an elevated commentary on the whole genre of superhero movies and how everybody's obsessed with them, and it turned out that the people that I work with are kind of geniuses. We made an entire season of Teen Titans Go, and also one of the most critically acclaimed animated movies of the year, all at the same time. I'm so proud of it. It's really smart, but it also will make you pee your pants if you drink too much water before you go see this movie. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's on DVD and Blu-ray this week, and if you watch the movie, I'm just saying, wear a diaper or have a bathroom close at hand. One or the other.
I agree.
Because honestly, we wrote most of the jokes for the parents who bring the kids. And I think that's kind of the formula that we go with. So I'm really proud, and I can't wait for everybody more people to see it, definitely.
Awesome. All right, so I'm done fangirling up here, so I'm going to turn it to the audience to talk some Walking Dead questions. We'll start over here to the left, to you, young lady over here.
My first question is for Kari. Can you say booyah like you do on Teen Titans?
Great segue. I can say booyah. I can say booyah a lot. Booyah, booyah, booyah. That's how I wake up and get my voice warmed up. Booyah, booyah, booyah. I also say wobbles. Wobbles, wobbles, wobbles. I love some wobbles. Do you enjoy the wobbles? Honestly, I was just telling them on the walk over here, one of the greatest things about being Ezekiel and being Cyborg before, but really being on The Walking Dead, is that everybody's saying my name right. For all of my life, I have been Carrie, or Kiri, or Kahiri, Kevin. And for you to walk up here and say, my question is for Kari, I just want to cry. It just makes me so happy. It just makes me so happy. So booyah, 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 wobbles, 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 and burgers and burritos to you, my dear.
So we're going to go to triangle because we have a mic up top too, so we're going to go around all the way up top.
Hey, I'm Tanner from Greenville, South Carolina, and the first thing I wanted to say is for Cooper, your portrayal of Jerry is the heart and soul of the show, and I don't think there's been a show that I've been able to relate to, especially with your vernacular as Jerry. But my question is for Kari, how has it been?
Liz, you said the right things. That's how we start all questions with a compliment. Thank you. Where are you?
Just sit here.
Okay, there. Now I'm not freaked out.
You are everything and anything that I've ever wanted to be. I'll shut up and look pretty.
But for Kari, how has it been, obviously King Ezekiel is a very prominent role, but how has it been portraying Cyborg for 15 years? I think it's as iconic as Kevin Conroy's Batman. In my opinion.
Yeah, it's so hard to pick like a favorite thing because I feel like I've fallen into just like one of the greatest gifts of my life was Cyborg, and then the greatest next gift of my life was probably playing Aqualad on Young Justice, and then King Ezekiel in The Walking Dead. But Cyborg was the first thing that anybody really knew me as. And I remember when the internet was just a baby, and you know, in the early 2000s, and they put out the cast list for Teen Titans, the first one, and I think the only thing anybody said about me was, "Who is this? He's probably terrible." The internet getting off to a great start, as we know it always does. But Cyborg he's as close to me as possible, because it was my first voiceover audition, my first voiceover job. So I wasn't a guy who had a lot of voices, actually. I've developed a lot of different voices that I play over the years, but Cyborg was literally me excited to get to audition, excited to have a job. You know, it was me just louder and happier, you know, and when he gets sad, it's me just louder and more depressed, you know, but he's about as close to me as you can get, you know, without being Ezekiel, I think. You know, so he's an incredible blessing, and one of the coolest things that's ever happened is I was at a convention in Utah, I think, and I saw this big bear of a dude come over here, big bushy beard, and I was like, whoa, man, look at this big, Walker fan. I wonder what he's going to ask me about with Ezekiel. And he pushed over this Teen Titans picture, and then I looked in his face, and I could see, even though he had this great big old beard, he had a kid's face. He was maybe 25 years old, but he had this baby face in there, and he just looked at me, and he had this quiet voice, and he said, "This got me through so much when I was a kid." And I said, "Come here, man," and this dude just picked me up. Still to this day, I just love it so much. That's what Cyborg's done for me, you know? And now this is what Ezekiel does for me now.
Thank you.
Both of you guys being multi-talented, I said that before you came out, and we can see that. So Cooper, up until 2014, not only were you acting, but you were working in the sound department on some very large productions. So where did that transition?
Okay, so right after high school, I was like, all right, I want to work in film. And all these people telling me, well, think of a backup job, something else. I'm like, no. And I wanted to do stunts. I wanted to do fight choreography. I have this, martial arts background, and it was just fun, getting to mess with swords and pretend to cut people's heads off and whatnot, normal stuff. And I only wanted to do that. I didn't care what I was doing in the industry. I just wanted to be a part of the industry. And so while I was doing the stunts and trying to figure these things out, like putting pads under clothes, things like that, and I was doing this before. Again, internet's new, and so I guess I've been in film now for like 15 years or so, and so I'm doing all these indie projects, and I'm learning that, oh, we need lights because I can't see their faces through this camera. Oh, that camera sound is really bad. We need like a thing that makes it sound better. How do they do it? And I started going from like these Craigslist jobs, and I just kept working and learning, and I wanted to learn everything. I wanted to know everything about sound. I wanted to learn about the cameras. I wanted to learn about lighting. I wanted to know why we had to put the lights here, and what it was like to set up a shot in the reverse and still make it look like the same picture. So as I kept doing that, sound came to me because they were like, oh, you're big, and we need someone to hold a stick over their head, and I'm like, I can do this forever. And being the and the boom operator, he's like he's the voice, I guess, of the sound department, because he's the one that has to be on set and he has to watch the rehearsals. And during that time, I did like drama club and stuff, but during that time, I'm listening to I'm recording and booming and in the room with directors and actors having discussions about like, well, why would I go to the fridge? Like, I'm not hungry. It's like, well, just go to the fridge because they told you. Oh, but if you're not hungry, then why would you go to the fridge? And you start learning about these questions that you think are this. You start realizing you have to start asking different kinds of questions. And so when I got my first like big role, which was in Halt and Catch Fire, which is another AMC show, little tricks were such as like, hey Cooper, would you mind just moving a little? Perfect, thank you. All right, like that kind of like find your light, got it, you know, and that kind of thing. And so it just, all that booming, it did help me transition. But and so I have all this technical knowledge, and then you know, I get these jobs, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how to do any acting whatsoever. I just know how to stand in front of this camera, but I don't know what I'm doing. And so but like everything else I do, I try to, you know, learn from everything I see. And Home Catch Fire was a great, you know, boon of learning for me. And then get to Walking Dead, and then get to work with Kari and Lenny and Melissa, and you know, I'm like, okay, I did some stuff wrong. I have to rethink everything I do. And so Lenny would just, you know, when Lenny would talk and just talk about his day, I'd be like trying to like dissect it. What does he mean by that? He's tired and he had himself a coffee. Well, you know, like, what is it, you know, I'm trying to figure that out.
What Cooper is not really saying is that he's an incredible sponge for knowledge and everything else, and he's one of the best like impersonators I've ever met. He does, his Lenny James is the best Lenny James I've ever seen. Honestly, his Rick Grimes might be the best Rick Grimes I've seen since Rick Grimes. So if you come to his table, you get him to do a little Lenny and get him to do a little Rick Grimes. He does a good Ross Marquand. People say he does a good me, but I don't know about that. I don't recognize it. I don't think I studied it much, but I think people said better make it good.
Secrets.
Yes, but he's an incredible sponge for all of this stuff. I'm not surprised that he knows literally everything.
Hi, my name is Caitlin, and I love you, Kari, but my question is for Cooper.
Each question's like a stab at one of us. I love you, but
Shut up.
I mean, awesome.
So, Cooper, I had your cobbler yesterday. It was amazing.
Yes, good.
I was wondering, what is your favorite kind of cobbler?
The one we're actually serving is my favorite cobbler. This was the one yesterday I made, and then the one today my mom and my wife made. I got married last month, and so it was pretty awesome. But yeah, no, that cobbler, raspberry, that was my birthday cobbler. My mom made it for me on my birthdays, and then 8 years ago I was like, hey mom, can you teach me this recipe? And she's like, she looked at me long and hard, and she's like, you'll never visit anymore. Oh, I will, I promise, I'll still want you to make it for me. But anyway, so hers is way better. So the cobbler's actually better today than it was yesterday, believe it or not. And so yeah, come back for more. You can just, I had a few people come and just walk, take the cobbler, and say goodbye. That's it. There's no, you don't have to make it a thing. If you're just here for cobbler, just eat and go.
Thank you.
Okay, go and eat.
This question's for Kari.
So you love him more, but you have a question for me, is what you're saying. Gotcha.
With special effects and computer graphics and editing being what they are, that's why I'm asking this question. I don't know if you actually worked with a tiger as part of your series, but if you did, I want to know what it's like working with such a magnificent animal.
Well, first of all, thank you for the question. I've told this story many times. I actually got the job because I already had a tiger. It was left on my doorstep days after its birth. I weaned it myself. My nipples are still sore. Lo these many years. There was no tiger. There was no actual tiger. We shoot the show in 8 days. When we have horses and when we have dogs on the set, it takes 3 extra hours, you know, just to get them to do it right. The time we would have to take to bring, you know, a truly wild animal onto the set would stop everything down. We just don't have that kind of time. So the first time you ever saw Sheba was the first time I ever saw Sheba. I actually, you remember there was a moment in that first trailer for the season 7 that she roars. And I kind of look over at her. And it was funny because they used that particular shot. I remember looking over at nothing and going, I wonder what it's going to look like. That's literally what went through my head when I looked over there. And they used it as if I was reacting to the roar. But I'm just going to tell you that's the way that Ezekiel would have reacted to the roar. I would have reacted to the roar like this. Which is another reason we couldn't have an actual tiger on set. I'm a good actor, I'm not that good at acting.
Which was why, like,
There's a pool of liquid underneath the throne. We're going to need a second to reset.
sharing that stage, I really liked my placement because I always thought of like, look, he might be cool with that tiger. I'm cool with him. I'm gonna be on the other side, scolding from afar without looking directly in the eyes. But yeah, it was funny because we had the animatronic, and you know, and they had no clue how they were gonna. Oh, I mean, I'm sure they had a clue, but they're like, are we gonna do the animatronic, the tennis ball, or the nothing? And so you had to do a version where like he's petting the animatronic, and then there's another version where he's petting a tennis ball. There's another version, and he had done it so many times at this point because they're all like, yeah, bring in the tennis ball. You know what? Bring in nothing. Let there be nothing. And Kari's like,